I have a really important question, though, about Strictly. Where is the buzz?
I mean, I don't recognise half of them already. So
Our favourite, Olivia Attwood.
your favourite?
I think she forgot she was famous.
She needs to remember potentially now that she is that this morning. She's ITV's golden girl.
Pete Wicks is like the modern day Callum Best. Nobody cares one jot about him.
Oh my God, she looks so fit.
Have they lost the weight through doing the cha-cha, or have they lost the weight through doing the jabby jabs? Do you know what I mean?
Right, well, we'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
This is Showbiz Fix, where the Sun Showbiz team gives you the inside track on our biggest celebrity scoops and lay out the lowdown on everything you're loving this week. Today, Kelly Allen's back, and she's brought with her a juicy exclusive on JoJo Siwa. We're getting to the heart of the Olivia Attwood and Pete Wicks drama, and we're looking at Strictly's latest scandal with McPhee, plus lots more to come. But first of all, I think it's fair to say not since Danny Jones woke up after the snogging Maura Higgins at the Brit Awards has anyone regretted a drink more than Olivia Attwood in Ibiza.
I don't think she does regret it. I saw her this week.
Well, look, we'll get on to this.
Oh, yeah.
I just think it was one of those rare moments where a celebrity forgot they were famous. So this, for anyone that's happened to miss it, is basically Olivia Attwood and Pete Wicks went on holiday to Ibiza to film their Kiss FM show. Now, after they'd wrapped all their work, they went off for a yacht trip, and then they were pictured having a cuddle. Now, Olivia's married to footballer Bradley Dack, so this didn't go down particularly well. We're hearing various things from various camps about how it had happened at home. But Kelly, what I want to ask you as someone who knows Olivia is, what was your reaction when you saw that picture?
I wasn't that surprised. I just think they're really good friends. Like, it does look bad, but I just think they're just quite a tactile couple, and or couple like pair of friends.
Couple of pals.
Couple of pals. Not a couple, obviously. But yeah, I think it's quite funny because I was in Ibiza last week and I was flying home as she arrived. And I'm quite grateful I wasn't there, because I don't think I'd be here right now. I'd be in some sort of rehab if I saw Olivia in Ibiza.
She does like to party. But the thing is, she's always sort of unapologetically been that girl. But you saw her this week, didn't you, at the launch of Bad Boyfriends?
Yes, I saw her at the launch of Bad Boyfriends, and there was a lot of speculation whether Bradley was going to be there. He was there, supporting her. They looked really coupled up, and I was like, I've just came to check that you're alive. And she was like, oh my God, I'm fine. She said that Bradley's okay with the Pete pictures, that he was a bit annoyed that she got so drunk, because actually he's like her husband and he worries about her going completely off the rails. But she's all like, I just think bad boyfriend, bad wife. It's good promo for the show.
Well, this is what I think is really interesting about this. And Rod, we had this convo.
We did.
Didn't we?
Yes.
Where you said to me, Flick, is this not all just a publicity stunt to promote Bad Boyfriends?
And you quite kindly said you don't necessarily think it is, but I'm quite convinced it is. I find it hard to believe that days before her new show comes out, this all magically happens and all of a sudden they're splashed across the press. But maybe I'm being cynical. What do you think, Kelly? You can adjudicate.
I don't know if she's like... She just sort of leans into it, I think, rather than going, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed and I've been pictured, and which other celebrities would do. She's just been like, went to Ibiza, I'm young, I don't have kids, I have fun. She is, as you said, unapologetically, like, we know she likes a drink. We know she's a bit feral when she gets on the loose. So I sort of like it. I mean, I didn't behave my best in Ibiza, and, you know, here to tell the tale, I think she was just the same.
This is what I hit back at you, Rod, when you suggested this about our favourite Olivia Attwood.
Your favourite.
She is my favourite.
Yeah.
I said the two things that are true about Olivia Attwood, and both these things can be true at the same time, is she likes to go out, she likes to have fun, but she also takes her career incredibly seriously.
Yeah.
And getting that spot on the This Morning sofa, winning awards for her documentaries is so important to her. And there's no way that she would be doing something like signing off on a publicity stunt that pulls her right back into that kind of trashy space when all of these really important big career moves are happening for her, is what I felt on this.
But when you take that into consideration, why did she do it at all? Because you think if she's got an awful lot riding on this, why would you take the risk of being pictured doing something that looks a little bit not beyond the pale, but you know what I'm saying? It isn't this image of a wholesome wife and that kind of thing, is it? You know what I mean,
I've never
Kelly?
thought she played the wholesome wife. And I think, Rod, we were discussing Ibiza earlier. You know, it does things. That island does things to you. I think she forgot she was famous.
Yeah, exactly.
I think she was just like, I'm on a boat.
I don't believe that Olivia Attwood for a second forgets she's famous. These
you know
people live and breathe their fame. Come on.
She said to me a couple of weeks ago when I interviewed her for Bad Boyfriends, she just genuinely doesn't really think of herself as famous. She said Mariah Carey's famous. I'm just known by some people who like reality telly. But I think this is maybe the wake-up call she needed, that gal's now too famous to be doing that.
Yeah.
I'm going to Lanzarote with my friends in a couple of weeks, and thank God there's not going to be cameras following me, not going to be cuddling anyone on a yacht because can't afford to go on a yacht. But the point is more that she needs to remember potentially now that she is that this morning. She's ITV's golden girl, and maybe now she'll rethink that.
I think if Pete Wicks isn't going to be in Lanzarote, you'll be all right, because so many times he's at the centre of all this. You know, there's pictures pop up and stories, and there's always, you know, he's like a common denominator in a lot of these stories, isn't he? Now, you can enlighten me more on this. What's that about? What is it, the Wicks factor?
He's not
here?
for me. I'm sorry. I know people love him.
A lot of women love him.
He's too short.
That man
Sorry. Sorry. Don't like a short man.
But you've obviously met him. I've met him a number of times. He does have that certain something. I don't know whether it's the confidence, cockiness. It has that bad boy energy. It just draws you in. He collects women like club card points, doesn't he?
He absolutely does.
Yeah.
What would Mr. Flicky say if you were cuddled up to Pete Wicks in Lanzarote?
Do you know, I did say to him, I said, so my husband's a great barometer of these things because he doesn't care about celebrities. He doesn't read any of this stuff. It's like my job doesn't exist, which is really refreshing and lovely. And I showed him the picture and I said, this lady's married. What would you feel like if this was me? And he said, if it was one of your mates, I'd go, oh, she's having a nice time. And he said, but if it was someone that you weren't like great pals with, I'd be suspicious. And I think that's the heart of it, isn't it?
Yeah,
Olivia and Pete have been friends since she came out that villa, 2017. And as far as we know, nothing has ever happened.
But not to put too fine a point on it, your husband saying that, would he feel the same way if it was a straight man, a straight man who was single? How would he feel different if it was, depending on the mate? He
said it all hung on the friendship. But look, we were able to see that relationship in the middle of this storm when they were both on Loose Women this week. Yeah. Now, bless Olivia, she knew that she was going to get grilled on it. It was Christine in the hosting seat, which was probably, a nice soft landing for her. But Olivia, I loved it. She said, look, I didn't behave the best, but it's not like I'm Charlie Sheen. And I think this is what we need to remember here. At the heart of this is a bottle of vodka, not a big cheating storm. Shall we? Look, I believe Olivia. They're mates. It wasn't great. She'll potentially not party quite so hard next time. Let's all just move on.
I agree, but I think if you're having to compare yourself to Charlie Sheen, I think that something might be slightly amiss.
Do you know, I've got a little exclusive about all the things that Olivia's got coming up, though, because I think very much the plan here is crack on.
Yeah.
She doesn't feel like she's got anything to particularly apologise for because she doesn't think she's done anything wrong. So we now know that she's the face of River Island. She's got this huge new 6-figure deal with them, but also she is relaunching her podcast across the pond. So Olivia's cracking America, and she's got some huge big name guests coming up to star on that relaunch.
Amazing.
Yeah. So look, I think that the mood we're hearing from Camp Olivia is not crisis.
I was literally chatting to some people at that party the other night for boyfriends that work in the TV world, and they are just like, she is going to be huge, so huge. And I think they're thinking stateside as well, which is hard to crack.
Yeah. So, we'll see. Will we still be seeing Pete Wicks crack America?
We'll see him be cracking on, no doubt, with about 10 other Love Islanders and reality TV stars. But I don't think he'll be cracking America. I mean, you two can tell me, do you think Pete Wicks' career has boomed since Strictly, or?
Do you know what I was thinking? What has Pete, this sounds awful, but what has Pete Wicks really done? I was trying to think of Pete Wicks' back catalogue, essentially. And there's Towie.
Yeah.
there's
Strictly.
but apart from Strictly,
The dog stuff.
Towie the dog stuff, which you can't even remember the name of the show. And I think that says something.
It's coming back, that show.
That show that you can't remember the name of.
Or indeed,
I'm excited for it, though.
I can't remember the channel, and I think I broke the story about it coming back.
But my point is more that what is your career if you're known as the man who gets with lots of women, as opposed to the man who has a great IMDb page? And Olivia, you can't argue, has a great CV.
I think he's happy enough. I mean, the podcast he does with Sam is brilliant. I think, like, there's definitely, I feel bad that I said I didn't fancy him, because people definitely do fancy him, and women really seem to take to him. I know women that are obsessed with him. So, I don't know. I think maybe, he maybe needs something. Surely we'll see him at the Jungle at some point.
I know what you mean, though, Flick. I feel like Pete Wicks is like the modern day Callum Best. He's someone that everybody knows. They know what he looks like, but they haven't actually got a clue what he does. But he's on TV like every other month.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd want that epitaph.
I can't read another interview with him and Sam gushing about their bromance.
Yeah.
Oh, please, him and Sam.
Sorry.
Just nobody cares one jot about him.
I enjoy it. I was watching a TikTok with him the other night where they went to the Jellycat Cafe, and I enjoyed it.
I know. Well, I'm glad that you're here, Kelly, because...
Yes, I know. Us two old cynics here, but...
Oh, God. Right, well, obviously Pete was on Strictly. Let's talk about Strictly. There is no Pete Wicks this year. Oh, no, Lewis Coates.
Lewis Cope. My pal Lewis Cope.
You know Lewis.
I know Lewis. I went in awards in Belfast with Lewis. We went to bed about 5 o'clock in the morning.
You and Lewis?
Separately. But I actually very much wanted to go home, and Lewis kept buying me drinks and insisted I stayed.
Oh.
We had quite a lot of shots together. But he's good fun. He is going to bring it to Strictly.
But do you think he could win it? Because, of course, everybody says that because he has this professional dance background, which undeniably he does, that will stop him from winning in the same way as it has with other people.
I think
that's interesting.
I think he could win because we never underestimate the soap stars.
Oh,
and
no.
he's from Emmerdale.
Well, look at Kelvin Fletcher.
Yeah, Kelvin Fletcher, Jack P. Shepherd,
Yeah.
the soap stars, the Facebook mums come out and they text and they vote. He's really charismatic. He's got a lot of like celebrity pals. I bet on Danny Dyer. Like, I always bet on Strictly. I've got a good track record of predicting the finalists. And I would say Danny Dyer, I put the money on as soon as she's announced. Lewis is a curveball that might win it. That's it.
That's interesting.
And my
You heard it here
and my
first.
third name, Ellie Goldstein. So 3 of them for the final.
Yeah,
I'm saying it now.
I
Fill
think
it back
they're
up in
safe
December.
bets. I think they're very safe bets as well. So, and I think Lewis will do really well with the housewives. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but I can imagine a lot of women gushing over him.
Have you seen his body? Have you seen him with his shirt off? Just...
Have you? I mean, it sounds
not
like you
in
might
real- have. Not in real life. He obviously has a girlfriend, but I have felt his pecs.
Oh.
He once said I
Wow.
could feel his stomach through his
Oh.
shirt, which
Right, well, we'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
maybe I should save it for off camera.
Yeah, I was going to
We
say,
might
this
need to
feels
cut
like a
that bit.
kiss and tell.
No wonder you defend Olivia Attwood.
But look, he's not the only person that we have been speculating what they look like with their shirt off this week because of your story, Rod. You
yeah.
revealed earlier this week that there are a third
That's
of
right.
the Strictly Come Dancing cast who have been or are on Fat Jabs.
That's right. 5 out of the 15 of them. And I mean, one of the things that's interesting about this is that, of course, a lot of these celebrities are kind of saying, I want to look my best when I'm on the show. They've got all these skimpy outfits to get into. Look, there may be health reasons as well. I don't doubt that. But it's really interesting that they're doing this just before they go on the show. Obviously, we haven't named them because it's medical privacy, which is entirely right. But I mean, a lot of these celebrities that are on Strictly are so thin already, they're going to be unrecognizable. And I mean, I don't recognize half of them already. So, but God knows what they're going to look like after they've been on the jabs. I mean, look, there are a few people on there you can imagine. You could probably guess might do the fat jabs, but yeah, it's going to be strange because they're going to have huge amounts of energy, 2,000-3,000 calories a day, burning all that off in the rehearsal studio. But of course, the fat jabs mean that you're probably going to be taking in about 1,000 or 1,500 calories a day. I'm
so
no
this
expert.
is a problem though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a potential problem. I mean, you need energy, you need that sort of vim to be able to go into the studio, that motivation. And it's fine if you're a normal person who just has to go into the office every day. But you imagine going and doing 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then performing. Yeah, it's a potential problem.
I mean, I haven't taken them, but I've heard that it makes you quite tired as well. Like they drain you, because obviously you're not getting as much energy. The other symptom you do get with them is it does kill your sex drive. So maybe this will be good for the Strictly curse. Keep all those misbehaving celebs at bay.
They finally found a way to clamp down on the curse.
I mean, it's like bromide, isn't it, in the tea at the end of the night? But no, it's really interesting, because I think most people will be staggered by the fact that these people are taking fat jabs.
Yeah. Do you know, I wasn't surprised at all.
Oh, really? But is it something you suspected?
I think it's more that the kind of people that are going on Strictly, they know what a huge career opportunity it is.
Yeah.
We've talked before here on Fix about how joining this year felt like a bit of a risk, a decision to make, certainly in years before where it hadn't been. And if you're going on there, you're like, right, I'm going to make the very best of this. And if you're aware that you're, you know, a little bit fluffy maybe, and you know that those first couple of weeks you won't have that huge raft of training, and you can see what fat jabs have done for people, of course you would.
But then I like the transformation. I like to go, oh my goodness, look how much weight they've lost because they've been.
But that's going to be
dancing up a
diminished
storm.
now,
Yeah.
isn't it? Because it's like, well, have they lost the weight through doing the cha-cha, or have they lost the weight through doing the jabby jabs? Do you know what I mean? But also, I just think it's a bit of a shame, you know.
Yeah.
You always want that underdog thing. You don't want to think that people are sort of doing all these things behind the scenes. I also heard a rumor that the reason why so many people are talking about this backstage, and they really are, is that the recent thing with the drug investigation.
Oh.
And there were rumours that if the contestants were going to have to be tested for drugs, would this then come out? What's this in your system? So then, you know, you've got Wegovy, Mounjaro, Ozempic, all that it was very much like, well, heck, you know, if I've got all this rushing around my system, then are they going to start raising an eyebrow at this? So there's been chatter about that backstage for that reason, apparently.
God.
So
this
that's why.
is the drugs testing because of that Sun exclusive that we had about the allegations
That's
on
right.
drug use behind the scenes.
That's right. So normally I think a lot of these people might take the jabs and just keep it under the radar. But apparently there's a bit of chatter backstage because of this. They're sort of saying, well, does this now mean that we're going to be having to do drugs tests and this is going to come up?
Is there an issue of how they're getting it too? Because obviously there's sort of medical criteria. You've got to hit your BMI is supposed to be a certain level. You're meant to have sort of medical issues. And, you know, if you're very small and taking it, you probably are misleading somebody somewhere to get hold of
I mean,
them.
we shouldn't be speculating on who it is.
No, we shouldn't.
But I'm trying to think of anyone that, in my eyes, of who is a medical case for this. I can't really think of anyone.
The trouble is though, obviously, if you're someone that has diabetes or you're pre-diabetic, there is an argument there for taking it. But there's also the added aspect of where you get this from. So, for example, some people can get it from the NHS if your BMI is over a certain level. Other people can get it from like Superdrug or Boots. But a lot of these celebs have private doctors where they can just go to them. And I'm not saying that they're doing anything wrong, but there's three very distinct routes you can take there. And let's face it, if you've got money and you've got a private doctor, that's a route that's open to celebrities that isn't going to be open to the likes of us.
No.
Do you know what I heard? Speaking of the topping up of the healthcare, as it were, some of the celebrities this year are choosing to top up the BBC insurance because they feel like it doesn't cover them in terms of health, loss of earnings, all that kind of thing.
In case they get injured.
So obviously last year we saw with Nick Knowles, he ended up having to pay for 2 huge operations because the BBC's insurance didn't cover him, because it's just fairly standard what you'd get on, you know, any kind of show. So they're taking the proactive step to cover themselves. So
it's wise. I mean, it's bizarre that the BBC don't actually properly insure you, because you kind of think to yourself, well, if they don't insure themselves and something happens, surely these celebrities can go back and sue the BBC, right? And they haven't got a leg to stand on because, well, they should have had this insurance. So it is a strange situation.
I have a really important question though about Strictly. Where is the buzz? We are a couple of weeks, a week off launch.
Yeah, about a week.
And I feel like the only thing that, I mean, we're talking about, but I can't see anyone that's excited for it.
No.
Rod, please tell me there's some excitement coming.
Well, I think we'll get a bit of excitement when we find out who's paired with who.
Yeah.
Because, of course, everybody's basically going to be trying to work out where will the Strictly curse strike this year. And, of course, they always, I mean, they say it's to do with height, but I think it's all to do with sort of potential sexual attraction. So that they tend to put, like a sporty male type with a kind of a vixeny pro and all that kind of thing, don't
Which
they?
sporty male type and vixeny pro are you talking about, Rod?
I mean,
You've got a hunch.
Yeah, I
haven't
mean,
you?
Chris. I've already said that I think that Chris Robshaw will get paired up with Nadia because of the height element. Because she's the
Yes.
tallest pro.
Yeah.
He's one of the tallest celebrities, and let's face it, that is a really steamy pairing.
Yeah.
But I think there'll be others, and they're very clever at sort of pairing people up. So I think let's wait and see. But I agree with you, there isn't a great deal of buzz, and I think, I'm sad to say it, but I think that's because they haven't got an amazing lineup. I mean, what do you two think to the lineup?
I wish there were more women. I mean, I usually would say in previous years for Fabulous, we've been like, oh my God, there's so many women we want to have on the cover. And I'm not saying there's not the ones there we don't. We did Danny Dyer last weekend. We've had Ellie before. We've had Vicky before. I'm not saying we wouldn't do them, but I don't really feel spoilt for choice. Like there's not as many. There's a lot less women, and I think Danny's a great signing. I think she'll be really good. Vicky will deliver. But yeah, I don't know if there's necessarily a whoa. But then does it really matter? Because I always think every year we go, oh, I don't know who they are.
I agree.
And then we get really invested in the story.
Yeah.
I would watch a normal people Strictly. I would watch regular people of the street learn to dance.
I think it's always the case that we love the underdog story, and the fact that we don't know these people that well means that we like them all the more when they succeed. So I'm not jumping the gun too much, but there'd better be a lot of excitement created further down the line, because right now it's a bit of a damn squib.
What was Danny saying?
Well, so Danny, we did a great shoot with her where she was a Stepford wife because she's been married 4 months. And she says that basically Jared Bowen, England player, and her husband's mother manifested her on Strictly.
Oh.
So they watched it last year together, and she's like, I just keep wishing that you would get to do it. So when she got the call, she's like, she is a bit witchy, so she thinks she made it happen. But she's really excited because I guess the whole family, Dyers and Bowens, are always sort of focusing on Jared's achievements on the pitch. I mean, he scored at the weekend. So I think Danny's a bit excited to do something for herself. Like she was sort of saying the juggle of hopefully Jared will get off the pitch and down there to watch her at Elstree. And Daddy Danny is just going to be all over it. So excited.
I think that we're all excited about Daddy Danny.
Daddy Danny.
Just as much as
crying
little Danny.
while his daughter goes around the dance floor.
Well, that moment when they cut across to Daddy Danny and the audience, they're going to have the bleeper machine on standby, aren't they? But it's going to be really, really funny.
It will be when Craig dares to criticise Danny daughter. Daddy Danny will be effing and blinding. Well, I hope so. It will actually bring some excitement, won't it?
The live shows.
Little Danny, I mean, we've had her on the cover quite a few times. She's a real friend of Fabulous. She is so lovely and so kind and so excited about this. And it's just really like, she's just always is like, I can't believe this is happening to me. She's really sweet.
That's sweet.
I think she's done a little bit of dance in the past. So I think she'll be pretty good.
Who have you got on the cover this weekend, Kelly?
Well, do you want a little exclusive?
Yeah.
Woo! We've got our favourite, JoJo Siwa.
Oh, wow.
So
She looks amazing. That's styling.
It's giving Calvin Klein.
I would
isn't
not
it?
have known that was JoJo.
Her
I think
hair
that's a
looks
compliment.
Incredible. I'm going to woo.
Who needs Sydney Sweeney for American Eagle when
Oh my God,
JoJo
like
Siwa?
this should be like Levi, sign her up. Like she looks so good. So I saw Chris yesterday. We were at a Coral Golf Day and Chris and me were catching up and I was like, would you like a little sneaky peek? No one's seen this. I showed him, he's like, oh my God, she looks so fit. And he's like, look at her hair. So very much seal of approval from Chris. Little exclusive from the chat. She basically says that she totally gets why people think their relationship is fake because it is so perfect. She's like, I would think it's fake. It's too good to be true, but it's real.
Do you know what I think is really interesting about what you've just told us?
Huh.
I don't think I've ever heard Chris describe anyone in those ways before.
Oh, he is so smitten. Like,
Yeah.
so smitten. And just like really like, was looking at pictures like, oh, can you send it to me? I want to text her. And like.
He's going to put it as a screensaver, isn't he?
Oh, I hope he does. And what I loved about it is like, she is so like, she just loves like being in the magazines. You know, Chris was telling me like, he was saying that when she was in the Sun with Jack a couple of weeks ago, I know you did an exclusive. He was like, I was down the newsstand. She's like, have you got me the paper yet? And he was buying a big pile of Suns because all her family in America want to see all the British press. I have to, straight after this, go and post 5 copies of this to America for her mummy and her auntie and uncle and everybody else. But yeah, she's like, it's a really good read this weekend. She talks all about her ex-girlfriend. She talks about the fact that Chris is going to be a groomsman at her brother's wedding.
Wow.
She talks about her own wedding. You know, ring-a-ding-ding, it could be coming.
Speaking of weddings and someone I think you're going to need on your cover, Love Island, Tom Clare and Molly Smith this morning.
Oh, breaking news, yeah.
I was so excited. Rod was like,
I was like, who?
Look, I wasn't here last week, so Love Island did not get mentioned on Showbiz Fix, and we can't be having that.
No.
So
That's an achievement.
Love Island
Wow.
All Stars winners. It's amazing.
She has been a fabulous cover star already, and Tom came to the shoot. Very attractive, very tall. He's 6'5", and she was really just smitten. And she was like, "I've always wanted this." And she was on the show, and she dated Callum, and they were together for 3 or 4 years. And I remember seeing them on Love Island After Sun, and she was there like, they were like, "What's coming up for you?" And she was like, "Ring," and he was like, "No," and they broke up quite soon after that. She's always wanted to be a wifey, and I'm just so happy that.
Have you seen The Ring as well?
The Ring is big.
It's like rivaling Taylor's. It's big.
I'm not quite as excited as I was over Taylor's engagement, but I was excited for her because they are a lovely couple.
Does that mean they're over the wall now? I mean, when Love Islanders get engaged, does that actually mean they're a genuine relationship and they're going to get married and stay together? Or does it mean, what, like Tommy Fury and...
No. Look, I saw Nathan Massey yesterday. He's still happily married to Cara from Series 2. Olivia and Alex, they've had baby number 2. You know?
I was just going to say, over the wall is not Love Island terminology either.
Oh, right, okay.
Locked off.
Yeah, I forgot.
Their eggs
Sorry.
are all in their own basket.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Right. So more serious matters. Rod, another story you had this week was Emily Attack was talking about something that happened in her past, which is a really, really serious problem still ongoing in showbiz. What's happening with her?
Yeah, it's really sad and quite shocking is that she says that throughout her time of making TV shows, she's been sexually abused over the years. And she sort of diluted it by not being too specific, but she said that it was during the course of making these shows, but also at wrap parties and things like that. But the important thing was that this was within the context of talking about intimacy coordinators on shows, and she was saying it's a great thing. Now, what she seemed to be saying as well was that during the course of making sex scenes or scenes of any kind of sexual nature, she basically was assaulted, which is incredibly disturbing because you think to yourself, well, has this been happening to women for years? You know, and these days they've got all these rules about barriers, about what you should touch, what you can't touch, and there's always someone there. And she seems to be saying that that hasn't happened with her, and she considers herself to have been sexually abused. Now,
Blimey.
if you think about it, that must have gone on for years and years. And of course, women are going to be on the receiving end of that more than men. I mean, what do you two think about this? I mean, do you think that intimacy coordinators are like a revolutionary thing that should have been there for years, or?
I suppose if you were rocking up and it was your first sex scene and it was, this is what happens and this is how we do things, you may be uncomfortable with the proximity to someone.
Yeah.
But if you're being told that's what we do, you'd think, oh, okay, that's just what happens, even if you might consider that a personal boundary. And I guess that sounds like what's happening here.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a generational thing as well, because Jilly Cooper, who wrote Rivals and has been adapted for Disney, and Emily is on that. Now, Emily says that now they've got loads of intimacy coordinators, and that's great. But Jilly Cooper herself was kind of bemused by all these intimacy coordinators and was like, you know, you just turn up to set and you get on with it. But that's exactly the attitude that's probably been exploited in the past by some dodgy characters to go, oh, well, you know, I'm just filming a sex scene. It's not actually sexual. Well, you tell that to the women that feel like they're on the receiving end of that attention.
I mean, sometimes in Fabulous, we have done women topless, and we have a sort of procedure, because there's a lot of men that work at Fabulous, but if that's going to happen, we sort of closed on the set bit and we asked people to leave. I remember doing Ekin Sue when she came out of Love Island. We did her topless. She sort of stood like this.
Was that the one with Davide?
That was with Davide. We did her topless, but we sort of had, like, they were both topless. And we sort of asked people to leave so she was comfortable. And I think that sort of thing. But I imagine we've heard over the times of people doing sort of modelling and being, oh, take your top off, can you do this? So it does sound like, and if you're a young actress, as Emily was, I mean, I think she was probably in her teens when she started, maybe early 20s.
Yeah.
You don't want to cause a fuss. You don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to do this, especially if you're not known. So maybe the intimacy coordinator is a good idea. I mean, it's always the actresses who are bigging them up and saying this is great. So it seems like it's a good thing in that respect.
Although there was an incident a while ago with Gwyneth Paltrow where she was doing a sex scene, I think with Timothée Chalamet, and the intimacy coordinator was sort of in their space, and she told the intimacy coordinator to back off. Now, I don't think that was necessarily a critical thing, but it was very much a case of this is something that they're going to have to navigate, because you need to be able to do sex scenes still, and maybe there's a way of doing them, but having an intimacy coordinator there might inhibit that as well. So it's a tricky one. I think Emily acknowledges that, and she wants to now do a documentary exploring this, and there's going to be all sorts of issues that she'll tackle in that, I think.
It sounds like it's almost that they feel that the intimacy coordinator gives them a voice to air their personal boundary. So Gwyneth there, she felt okay. But Emily, for example, didn't. So
agreed. And Gwyneth is a more mature, seasoned, experienced actress, and she can do that. But if you're 22 and starting out,
tricky stuff. Right, now I'm desperate to know what you are bin and binging this week. It's always my favourite part of the show. Kelly, I'm going to start with you. What are you binning?
I am binning not being able to watch Traders Ireland. I'm fuming. Like, I was at home last weekend and you can access RTE on Sky in Northern Ireland. So I watched the first episode. It's got Siobhan McSweeney. Oh my God, she's amazing.
So she's best known as Derry Girls.
She's the nun in Derry Girls, Sister Michael. And she's just very cutting, very funny. She is giving Claudia vibes. Although I was loving it because obviously Claudia has like an exquisite wardrobe. And usually you see her wearing a jumper, you think, oh, I quite fancy that. And you look it up and it's like 800 quid. Siobhan has got some amazing pieces. She's wearing a lot of Irish designers. One of the scenes, she's wearing a Marks & Spencer's cardigan. And I thought, love that for you. I could go and buy that for 35 quid. But she's really good. There's really good characters in it. There's a wee old man that's a policeman. And he's really like, ooh. I'm not going to give it away because I really hope the BBC get it because it's been on every night, not being able to find it through even illegal means over here. So I'm saying, please, BBC, put Irish Traders on the iPlayer so I can watch it.
And what are you binging?
I am binging Wuthering Heights, Emerald Fennell's adaptation of the book, of Emily Bronte book. It's got Margot Robbie. It's got Jacob Elordi. It looks steamy AF. And people are going mad about it. The trailer dropped this morning. It looks raunchy. I saw someone say Saltburn with candles. I mean, it's on the moors. Now, people are annoyed. They think it's not going to stay true to the text. I don't care. I think it looks hot. I'm like, it's out Valentine's Day. I'm all over it. I'm all a steamy film for Valentine's Day for the single galleys.
Rod, you're nodding.
Yeah. I love a steamy adaptation. And we were saying that it's all in this post-Bridgerton world now. Now, period dramas don't need to be stuffy and dusty, and they can be a bit raunchy, can't they? So, no, I'm here for that as well.
I mean, there was a bit in the trailer where someone's putting their hand in the mouth of a fish. So I'm like, what is going on? Remember the bathwater in Saltburn became such a big thing. I think this fish scene's going to be weird.
I mean, sorry, what's the context?
I don't know, because obviously it's a trailer. So
and how big's the fish?
So there was a fish's head. I don't know. I'm not going to
definitely don't want to hear about this.
No.
Rod, what are you bidding?
I am binning The Inheritance. Sorry, Channel 4.
Sorry, Elizabeth.
Yeah, it's just, look, the show itself isn't bad. The show is a decent show if The Traitors didn't already exist, but it's blatantly a rip-off of The Traitors. It's made by the same production team. And basically, like I say, it's good in its own right. But if it wasn't just so similar, I mean, Liz is on it for about 4 minutes. It's the same setup. It's a stately home. They get given tasks. It's about like skullduggery. And I just think, why watch that? We've got Celebrity Traitors coming up. We've got The Traitors coming up. Let's just wait for those. I don't need to be putting more time into Channel 4's show. Sorry.
What are you loving though? What's the binge?
Well, ironically, it's another Channel 4 show and it's Bake Off. I mean, I know I'm a boring middle-aged man here. I get it. And actually, I'm not a natural fan of the Bake Off, but I watched it this week and I just thought, I understand why this show has been on our screens for like 20 years, because it's just so simple. It's warm bath telly. You watch it and you sort of sit there going, oh, not this again. And then an hour and a half later, you're sitting there going, oh, that was great. So, yeah, I'm binging the Bake Off, but definitely binning The Inheritance.
Oh, poor Liz.
Poor Liz.
Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah, poor Elizabeth.
Sorry.
Always Elizabeth.
Sorry, Liz. I am sad about my bin this week. It's Ekin-Su.
Oh.
I love Ekin-Su. As you know, I talk about her often. But she's had a bit of a clanger this week. So she very excitingly shared her cover of Vogue Mexico. But she's been really misleading in doing this because everyone has erupted thinking that's incredible that she's landed the cover of Vogue. This is huge. But she's fallen foul of a real breach of advertising rules here because she's not declared that this was actually paid for. And it was a collaboration with a clothing brand that had paid for that space on the cover of Vogue as part of a deal. Now, she should have done a hashtag ad, hashtag spawn, but instead she said, my Vogue debut and a start of many stories. Little me used to cut out Vogue covers and imagine my face on there one day. Today I'm a Vogue cover girl and my first of many. All of that is true. She just needed to put hashtag ad. And people get really het up about this kind of influencer fakery. The Advertising Standards Agency have actual rules about this now. So I just feel what could have been such a win for Ekin and such an amazing moment, she looks incredible, has become this, yeah, but not really. You had to pay for it. And I just feel a bit sad for her. So what I'm bidding here isn't so much Ekin, it's more fakery within all of this sort of thing. And just be upfront with it, girl, because you look amazing. You've really delivered on that shoot. Put your little hashtag ad on there. Get on there now, Ekin, and sort it out. I'm binging, as a 40-year-old woman who should know better, The Summer I Turned Pretty.
I have been dragged into this by my sister. At the weekend, she made me watch it. And you know what? I'm hooked now. I've gone to series 1. I'm watching series 1. I've started from
So Prime Video was like, you like this? Are you sure you don't want to watch this? You know how it does.
Oh,
Constantly is like, yeah, but have you considered this? And I was just like, no. Oh my goodness me. I'm now obsessed with these two brothers and this girl that's toying with both of them. She went to Paris. Is she
No
going to speak?
spoilers. I'm in series 1.
Is she going to choose Conrad or Jeremiah? Look, I'm obsessed with it. The internet is obsessed with it. It's just turned into one of those programs which is so trashy. It's good. It's Twilight for a new era.
But it does have Swiftie music.
So much Taylor Swift.
Is this something that, can I ask a controversial question? Would any man want to watch this? Is this predominantly a woman's show? I know that's a very non-politically correct thing to say.
Look, the plot is weak. The characterization, I hate most of them. It's incredibly American. It annoys me a lot. They say things like, let's get lit.
Yeah, they do.
There's a lot of beer pong. So a lot of me is repelled by this. Yet every week I'm there.
You're
on
a
a
hate
Wednesday.
watcher.
I'm a hate watcher, but it lands on a Wednesday. Everyone gets excited in the run up to the Wednesdays. Maybe that's the key.
That's it.
It's like old telly where you have to wait. But anyway, the summer I turned into the kind of person that watches on telly. So there we go. That's your Showbiz Fix for this week. And you can get a whole lot more for telly and entertainment if you subscribe here at the Sun Showbiz on YouTube. And you can hear us in your ears wherever you get your podcasts. See you next week.